Okay, folks, this is something I don't know exactly what it is, but it brings back memories, I think, of my grandfather on my dad's side of the family. Something for the garden. And this, I think, is something from the garden. It looks very similar and it just takes me back. Even though my granddad was a mean and horrible dick, which is obviously where my dad has inherited the bullshit from. Yeah. It's going to be Father's Day soon and I'm not going to fucking celebrate. No, I'm not celebrating that shit. Not when my father's an asshole. Doesn't want to admit it, bitch. Not celebrating, folks. I don't care anymore. I don't care about my father anymore. He can go fuck himself. He's bullying and teasing shit. I fucking hate my dad. I'm not going to let him fucking make me feel any worse about myself than I already feel. So I'm going to give him the fucking bum steer. Anyway, enough of that. Let's see what we have. Have here a piece of powder coated steel, and you can see it's cracked, and it just takes me back to my granddad's vaguely thinking. I'm not sure, but there's something very granddaddy or grandpopsy. I call my granddad was known as Grandpops, but basically Grandpops had a garden, and I'm pretty sure this was something similar to what he would have had. I don't know what the fuck this is, but it just reminds me of Grandpops's place back in I think we went last time I saw my Grandpops before he died was in 1979, I think it was, or was it 1978? It was a long time ago, and he died and we never saw him again, and that was the last we saw of him, if I remember correctly. So this reminds me of him, one of the nice memories I have of his place. Somewhere in his place, I can't precisely pin down or drill down where I saw this kind of material, similar kind of material, and that's come up looking brilliant. Look at it almost glows. So yeah, it just reminds me of my grandpops. Even though my grandpops was an asshole and dickhead, still reminds me of him, in a good sense, I suppose. I suppose it's a good memory. Grandpops, yeah. But yeah, I'm sure that's where Dad got his asshole attitude from, and my brother got that asshole attitude from my father. So it runs in the family, unfortunately, this bitchery that my dad and my brother have. They're just a fucking passing it on down the line, their fucking bullying disease. And I don't have any respect for that shit, so I'm not fucking going to celebrate my Father's Day. He can go stick it up his ass. I don't know if I want to have it like that, or whether we're just going to maybe enlarge a section out of this. I don't know. I'm going to see if I can push, maybe put the X up the other way. But basically, yeah, I just don't have any respect anymore. I never used to hate my dad so much, but you know, since he never liked my photocopier art. He's always called it foolishness from the very get-go, and it really hurts my feelings that my dad can't just let me be me and just let me you know. He never cared about me, the bitch. You know, he just cared about his own, what he thought was his own image, you know, trying to be normal, you know, trying to make everything normal, you know, like being as sterile and stupid as he can be. And he is, he's an idiot, and he is a major pain in the ass, but, you know, what can you do, folks? What can you do with a dickhead like him, who doesn't care what you think or how you feel and who you are, you know? And he didn't even seem to have any idea that I was being bullied mercilessly at school. He never seemed to offer any support against that. At least my mum was aware. She, you know, she wasn't the greatest either, but at least she felt sorry for me being bullied and teased the way that I was. And now my dad's one of those types of people that teases and bullies me. So my dad's a fucking bully, for crying out loud. He belongs to the fucking opposition from school. How do you like that, folks? How do you fucking like that in your fucking family, bitches like him? Honestly, it's really disturbing, but what can you do? You can't choose your fucking genetics, unfortunately. You can't choose who your fucking dad is, who your mum is, who your brother or your sister is. And my brother's an asshole too. They both tarred with the same fucking brush. My dad and my brother. And I don't need that shit, folks. I had to deal with it all throughout my entire school life, and deal with it after school, in the workplace, and in my tertiary education. I never seemed to have the ability to give anyone the slip. I seemed to be a person who attracted being a victim. I seemed to have this ability to be victimised and really hurt my feelings, but there was nothing I could really do about it. So now I have the power, and I'm going to fucking boycott Father's Day. I'm not going to ring Dad. I haven't spoken to Dad for almost a year at least. So it's been a long time. And I forgot to... Oh, it looks really quite nice in positive mode, but I was meant to leave it as negative image. But that looks really quite interesting. I do need to more vertical enlargement. But yeah, I just really have no respect for my own dad. I don't care about him anymore. Couldn't give a flying fuck-tardery about him. Couldn't give a fuck about my own dad. I know it sounds really unfamily-like, but sometimes you can't basically try to mend something that cannot be fixed. You know, you cannot fix it. So, you know, you can't fix something like that by being nice, because sometimes being nice, you just get the shit thrown back in your face. It just bounces back in your face, and then they can laugh at you and treat you like you're fucking gullible. And yeah, so you have to fucking sometimes you have to bloody you can't do that. So you have to take a new tack, and that is to keep fighting them, keep hating them, keep pushing their buttons wrong, because they push your buttons wrong, you know. And you got to fucking show them that you're not. But the way to do it is not to fight them verbally or physically in person. You ignore them. You give them the bum stare. You hide. You don't talk to them on the phone. You don't see them. You give them the fucking,
yeah, Dad. Yeah, Graham Victor Huddy. Suck shit. I'm not going to talk to you until you apologise on the 6 o'clock news on Channel 9, you bitch. Go to hell, slut. Happy Father's Day. No. Miserable Father's Day for you, Dad. I hate your guts. Down the toilet you go, bitch.
There you go, folks. That's my... I just got a bit carried away. So there, that's it. That's my Father's Day greeting for him, assuming this shit goes to Channel 9 News, which I don't think it will, because Dad's Day is a week away, and I don't see my stuff hitting the news channel until... I have to burn discs, folks. I have to burn some discs. got to move it across. Not move it. Got to sorry, folks. But yeah, you see what I mean, folks. I've got to basically get my stuff on the 6 o'clock news, and I don't think it's going to happen. And by the time they've edited the footage that I'm giving them, this will be a long way after, but it'll still be the same message all over Australia. So hopefully all over to show the world. And the world too, that would be a bonus. But that's what social media is good for, is to help make the TV program propagate further, to make it really propagate, to really rub it in. And I'm really glad there is social media, and I hammer it. I absolutely hammer it on an industrial strength level. And that's the kind of person I am, industrial. I am industrial, folks. And indeed, one day I want to redesign the photocopier. That would be a game changer if I could do that. That's my future goal. It's a long way off, but I'm trying to think positive that I can do it, folks. I can do it. I can do it, folks. I do believe in myself, even though my dad doesn't believe in me. He'd rather believe in Santa Claus, fuckwit. And you made me believe in Santa Claus when I was young. And guess what? I got teased and bullied again, more than for that too. So he just made another teasing and bullying problem, and that was Santa Claus. So not happy with Santa Claus. Fuck off, Santa Claus. You're dead. You're fucking dead, you bitch. I hate you, Santa. Fucking hate Santa Claus, folks. Hate him. He's a fuckwit. I know he's not real and he doesn't have feelings, but I hate him as a thing that children get told about. Another form of lying that parents like to do with their children, and really it's child abuse. And that it was, because look at the abuse I got at school. Child abuse. So I had to wear it. That Santa Claus wasn't real. I was 10 years old. That was 40 years ago. So I've not forgotten that my dad had made me have even more problems in the school by telling me Santa Claus was real and not telling me on time, like when everyone else knew, that Santa Claus is just a fable. Fuck, I hate that. He never taught me he never taught me anything right. He's taught me how to hate. He didn't even know what love was. I actually asked him a question. I didn't actually ask him the question, but I was talking about a song on the radio by Howard Jones called What Is Love? And I wasn't asking him what is love. I was just talking about the song on the radio, which happened to be called that. And he says, it's like I asked him the question, what is love? And Dad said, what is love? He just returned my what he thought was a question and returned it to me as an answer. So he obviously, I found out that's it. He does not know what love is. That's his problem. That's why he's such a bully. That's why he's such an asshole. He doesn't know what love is, Dad. You're a fucking idiot, you dick. And how you thought you could get married and have children? What a fucking loser. Graham Victor Huddy, Graham Loser Huddy. There you go, what a fucking loser. Having children when you don't know how to give love, you don't know how to love my mum, and you had affairs? You fucking had fucking affairs? Fucking bitch. Dad, you're a fucking bitch. Slut. You're a fucking cunt. Have no respect for my fucking dad and his bullshit. So what, Dad? You're a fucking asshole. Go fucking admit it, bitch. So yeah, I'm not celebrating Father's Day. I'm just going to rub it in. Well, I'll probably end up making a Father's Day demo, perhaps. So there'll be more abuse forthcoming, I guess. I can't afford to buy myself a Father's Day card to use as a prop like I did last year. I think was the last time I did it, but the cost of living has gone up, so I can't afford luxury stuff like that. I've got to push it up a bit because that edge there looks a bit shit house. It looks a bit dodgy. Sounds like someone's smoke alarm's going off. Fuck, that's another thing, I'm not insured. So if this place goes up in smoke, I'm gone. My TV campaign is gone, and that's why I'm hoping that Channel 9 will come to my rescue soon, because I'm not rich and I can't afford insurance like NRMA, for example. And NRMA always appears on the weather report as their sponsor. And I'm not rich, I can't afford it. So if this place goes up in smoke, this photocopier has got history, my electronics like my computer, my phones, if I don't grab my phones in time. But basically, yeah, this place goes up, I'm screwed. So I have to get this stuff to go to air on the 6 o'clock news as a matter of utmost priority, urgency. I'm going to make it a bit bigger on the vertical, just a tad bit. But yeah, I just really hate my own dad. I just can't deal with him. He's an asshole. And to talk to him face to face is like talking to a piece of granite. Oh, fuck, I hate when I do that. There goes a smoke alarm again. Usually false alarms, but still you just don't know when it's going to be the real thing. Living in social housing, indeed, it's really, you get the kind of people that are not terribly clever or smart or sensible. But, you know, that's what you have to do when you're a person who's living on the disability support pension and you're living alone and you don't have a partner like your partner Luigi. I'm trying to get in touch with my partner Luigi so I can get married and so I can make money out of my art. So I'm trying to get this material to go to the 6 o'clock news on Channel 9. That's the only way I'm going to get my ticket to freedom. And I'm not talking about fucking dumb lotteries, which Channel 9 like to air on a regular basis. People winning lotteries and Powerball, and they're not giving any fucking chances to me to be a winner in that I'm a talented artist. And when they show artists that are fucking already made it, already making money, already exhibiting. And my work has never been in my own exhibition. I've only been in competitions, and these competitions were mainly amateur competitions, and I never won a prize in the art contests. I won a prize in a poetry contest, second as in the poetry section of the competition, but I did never. But that was like a one-off thing. I don't typically do poetry. I'm not a poet. I don't like poetry anymore. It was just a certain served me for a moment, and it's just not my thing. This is what I do, and I've never won an art prize, so I'm trying my hardest. I'm hoping that maybe if I go to air on TV and people can see what actually goes into photocopier art, or some examples of what it goes into it, or people will think differently, and maybe I will get an exhibition, I don't know, or some kind of recognition of my work, and then my dad and I could probably patch it up. Dad will say he's sorry, you know, that he's seen me as successful, and that he'll apologise, and I'll have to forgive him and my brother and loads of other people who've fucking wronged me, including the assholes from the school days. But that's enough now, and that's come up looking quite a treat, interesting. I think we can now call this demo quits.